Perhaps. In the meantime, we'll just stick with StarCraft 2. Why not? It's the best RTS out there. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have Team Liquid's SKillous. Liquid Skill. You'll love to see it. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner is, of course, Matcherino Esports' NightMare. I also love how just the way his name looks, especially with the capital K that SKillous has. This looks like a conspiracy theory account called Liquid's Kill. It doesn't even need to be conspiracy. It's just like giving information, you know? There are some liquids can kill you. In fact, all liquids can kill you in certain applications. Even our favorite liquid in the world, water, which our world is made up of 70% of. Our world's surface, anyways. And our bodies are made up of 70% of water. Drink it all the time. We need it to survive. Literally can't live without it. But even that can kill you. And Liquid's Kill is trying to let you know that. Now, Liquid's Kill is going to go ahead and drop a proxy. NightMare, a Korean Protoss. I kind of expect to be going for a Korean Protoss build. By that, I mean 1 base, 3-gate robo. But I feel like the Koreans know that that's not the European meta and don't necessarily mind going for expansion sometimes. It's really funny. For a little while, I saw the Korean meta start to evolve and start to involve more natural bases and expansions, and I was like, ooh, maybe we're changing it up. And then like KSL this past week, it was just like all 3-gate robo all day. I was like, oh, okay, I guess maybe never mind. But funnily enough, it's actually SKillous going for the proxy robo, checking out the base of his opponent, seeing what's what. NightMare has not really committed to anything yet. He does have this third pylon in his base rather than down by the natural. So, yeah, this is not all that surprising to me. And now we have this weird interaction, which I was going to say I don't know who it favors. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Wait. What? Hold on the probe. No. What? How did he miss it? It's right there. Oh, NightMare, no. He's really gonna think there's not a proxy. I can't believe this. Like, look at this bump. That bump is where the robo is. That's so wild. All right, well, this would have been good for NightMare, actually. He would have known exactly what he's up against, been able to potentially defend. I mean, it's still gonna be okay for him. The fact that he's going 3-gate robo against, you know, a 2-gate robo means he'll have more gateway units. He doesn't have a shield battery back at home. He's trying to get a prism out instead of going for an immortal. Oh, he wants to dive down here. He's going to try to get on top of this. Triggers the shield of the immortal and realizes, hey, I have enough stalkers to do this. I'm just going to power through that prism just in time. Just in time. As another immortal starts up and SKillous brings a few more units over here. NightMare honestly could have kept chasing. There's like nothing here to help defend these units, but NightMare decides it's safer to pull back. He's got the prism heading across the map. I think he's going to try to warp in a couple of adepts, but oh no, dude. SKillous spots the prism, so now this prism is not only in danger of dying, but is also known about. SKillous should be able to maybe get some defenses up back at home. Shield battery in the mineral line. There's those adepts. The prism's going to sneak in between the stalkers and the immortals up here and just be able to get right into the base. SKillous puts down that shield battery, but it's actually a little bit late. These adepts are going to be able to get right on in there. Oh, this is actually very bad for SKillous. Let's see if he has any warp-ins available. He's going to just pull the probes away. But I think NightMare realizes that, yeah, he's got a big opportunity here. One stalker is going to warp in. That's going to be a lot of dead probes. SKillous on the other side of the map is going to try to go for the attack. But I feel like NightMare should have plenty up here to defend. That being said, the Prism here going to be very helpful to SKillous and do some fancy juggling in and out of that Prism. There are some force fields here for SKillous as well, so if NightMare tries to push down the ramp, he can split the army with the force fields, keep them up there. NightMare trying to get a third Immortal out. There's 3 Stalkers back at home. He could just go for the recall. Instead just grabs 1 probe, sneaks back out of there. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't hate to see the recall, so NightMare could potentially use that Prism back at home as well. Immortals poking forward. The Immortals up against the Immortals, but good target fire here. Skill's going to take down a Stalker. Poking and prodding. I feel like he needs to do more than that. Ooh, the Prism gets out. NightMare going to send the Shade the other way and then just try to get 1 more probe. Gets 2 more probes. Stalkers will clean up these Adepts, but now that Prism is back at home for NightMare to use as he sees fit. SKillous is not taking a base or anything behind this. He's got a Twilight Council going down. We're just hardcore one-basing. A Stargate here for NightMare. I didn't even see that come out. And he's getting a Phoenix. I think, okay. Is NightMare expecting this to be Disruptors as a follow-up? I guess that is a usual thing. So that might be what the Phoenix is for. It can also work on this Prism. In the meantime, NightMare's just going to shade on down there. The Prism goes down. But those Adepts getting a lot of kills in the meantime. Good force field here from SKillous. Phoenix gets pushed away, so the Prism will stay alive for now. Beautiful force field from NightMare, though. And down goes NightMare's Prism. Or down goes SKillous' Prism, rather. And with that, he's not going to be able to get any of those units out of there. GG. NightMare takes game 1, busting out. Maybe it should have been Disruptors coming out of his opponent there. Out of SKillous. SKillous had a good start to that, but I feel like NightMare just handled it so well with the Adepts on the other side of the map. With the Prism coming back and helping him bust out. Actually, it didn't really help him that much, did it? It was really the Adepts that did that. The Adepts and the Phoenix. Wishing I had some caffeine right now. I don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need caffeine. We have Christmas spirit. I do need more water, though. So I'm going to get that once we hop into this game. Ooh. Take my Christmas hat. My Santa hat. Be right back. Just going to grab this water. And would you look at that? We're back in the game. Specifically in game number 2. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Golden Aura. It is Team Liquid's SKillous. And his opponent in the lower right. It's NightMare. Played for Maturino. Hope y'all having a lovely Christmas day out there. enjoying some StarCraft on this beautiful day. It's a good day to do something compassionate, you know? I don't know what that means, but I feel like it's the truth. Again, maybe I'm just feeling a certain way after watching It's a Wonderful Life. I just want to say how much I appreciate all of you being in my life. Even if it's just in a limited capacity of seeing you in Twitch chat, mine or other people's, or in the Discords. Some of y'all I've met in real life. But I appreciate your existence. And I hope that you don't ever wish to not have been born. Because you touch the lives of those around you. Even in small ways. So, you're appreciated. Thanks for being here. Alright, that's too sentimental for me. I don't know how to transition from the sentimental to just talking about the game of StarCraft again. NightMare is going for 2 depths. So maybe a cheeky Stargate here from NightMare. Try to harass his way into SKillous' base. SKillous opening up Stalker Sentry. This looks very much like a standy-andy, expandy build out of SKillous. NightMare going to drop that low ground pylon too, though, so might be feeling the expansion. I don't think Skill has confirmed that it was 2 Adepts coming out, which is a little surprising. Usually you see the probe try to get that confirmation, but Skillous is smart enough to have a probe there anyways. Keep the sentry back so it can't just get sniped. And in fact, the sentry just seeing those Adepts down on the low ground. Two more Adepts coming out of NightMare. He is just not, he's not slowing down on those bad boys. That's going to be the 8 Adept pressure out of him. Eight Adepts can be kind of scary, but it is a big investment in what are essentially harassment units and not super helpful in the army later on. In most scenarios, Adepts aren't super helpful in the army later on. Grab a Stalker here, though. The second Stalker actually going to be in a little bit of trouble, too. It's going to start backing up. I guess it won't be 8 Adepts. It's going to be 7. Since one of them died. And shocker behind this, we're going to have Blink for both players. Oh man, it's a PvP. But this is kind of what I mean when I talk about the Adepts not being super helpful in the army later on. You know, Skillous is getting Blink, and he's been mostly building Stalkers, so that kind of just tracks. Oh. Pile was late. But, you know, here NightMare is on 2 Stalkers and 7 Adepts, and those Adepts will not be getting Blink in a little while. Quick transition to the cat cam. That would save us if there was a cat there. But Kitty has decided he wants to be away from the camera today. He's being very cute in his little tent. Did the Adepts go in? Am I crazy? 5 Adepts have died. Yeah, I guess the Adepts went in and didn't really do anything at all. I was looking at the cat, I'll be completely honest with you. And in the meantime, NightMare just lost a bunch of Adepts for nothing. They definitely would have been more useful in the army than just dying for nothing. I guess they're still being kind of annoying over here. Skill's going to grab a third base, maybe put some pressure on with these Blink Stalkers. Is an Immortal on the way up for NightMare, and his Blink is about to finish as well. So he's going to go ahead and start up his own third. As these Adepts finally get caught and cornered, but two of them will get away. Cheeky little force field there, trying to save that sentry. Doesn't quite work. Skillous will back up. NightMare takes that third base. It is a bit behind Skillous's, though. And in the meantime, one Adept going to shade somewhere. Going to shade somewhere. And then it's going to die. Wait. Gets a probe first. Oh, does it get 2 probes first? Look at this Adept go. It's going to get 3 probes. That Adept should not have gotten even 1 probe. And it got 3. All right, NightMare feeling better about those Adepts. The Adepts that were invested earlier. They've at least did something now. That one making up for like 3 dead Adepts. NightMare's going to move across the map, feeling pretty good about himself. He is up quite a bit of army supply, actually. Kind of surprised to see how far up in army supply he is, considering how even of a game it's been and how many Adepts were lost. But he's going to dive in and try to target down this shield battery. He doesn't get it, though. And NightMare is blinking backwards before that gets killed. And that means that super shield battery is going to help these Stalkers stay alive for even longer. Oh, man. NightMare making a big blunder there, not killing that shield battery. It has healed so many Stalkers. The big blink forward. The Prism does stay alive, but it can't really help Micro, so that means those Immortals will go down. I think NightMare has actually still won this fight. The Prism gets killed, but that means now these Stalkers are out here all on their own, on their lonesome. And NightMare is going to chase them away, get a couple more kills. He has taken a pretty big army supply lead here, 27-2. Well, I guess it's 22 now, not that big of a difference. That shield battery, though. 27 hit points, really very close to going down. Oh, 4 Stalkers trying to move in towards the natural. The rest of them hit this third base. NightMare gets a couple of probes and we'll blink out of there before losing any Stalkers. That defensive Stalker warp in, I say, as he loses a Stalker to the defensive Stalker warp in. As it always goes. Skill's losing a lot of workers here, man. It's just like a lot. Yeah, he's up to 24 workers killed now. How did that happen? I feel like I missed some workers going down. Maybe when the Stalkers came in over here, they got a couple of kills too? I don't know. There's a lot of dead probes. And all of a sudden, NightMare is just up 11 workers. That is a huge amount of workers to be up. Observer over here is going to see these Stalkers joining up. It will get taken out, but that's going to give NightMare a chance to reposition a little bit. Charge finishing up here for NightMare as SKillous is putting that pressure on. He's got some Zealots hitting this attempted 4th base over on the left-hand side. Ooh, and a kill on that Prism there as NightMare pushes these Stalkers away. SKillous is ahead, that +1. But there's so many more Stalkers here right now for NightMare. I feel like this is just so good for him. Pushing away, taking a very good trade here. The Zealots down here are going to get cleaned up by a warp in, it looks like. And NightMare puts himself now in a commanding position. More Zealots warping him back and home for Skillous. Going to keep that army supply relatively even, but NightMare should just be able to back up from here. Regroup his forces. And NightMare is just ahead by like a lot of workers now. 60-47. 4th base is done for Skillous, but it's about to finish for NightMare. When you only have 47 workers, too, it's like, that's not enough to saturate that base. Not a lot of gas being mined here for Skillous. NightMare is only got slightly more gas being mined, but it's enough to potentially get into some Archons or something like that. Some sort of tech. The Zealots did damage this base quite a bit. So Skillous is going to try to come into this base, but I feel like there's just going to be too much here for NightMare. He takes the fight. He's going to push this back. even chasing these stalkers away. Well, SKillous taking an okay fight up here, but he's still just down in supply even after that warp in. The Prism comes over for NightMare. That's going to help him be able to ferry some of these units back, particularly this Immortal, which is tanking a lot of damage in the front there. And now SKillous down to 19 army supply as NightMare takes another very good fight. And NightMare is actually going to be the one to start at that +2 before SKillous does, maintaining that lead, keeping that lead going. SKillous going to try to sneak a Warp Prism back here. Maybe he can get something done with that, but right now he needs to focus on the defense as NightMare is pushing in at this third base. SKillous, I don't think he's going to have enough. Look at that army supply, 37 to 70. Big warp in here for NightMare. He's got the Immortal. He's got the Blink Stalkers. And it looks like he's going to have the 2-0 victory. I don't think SKillous can hold. He's desperately trying. If he had like a Disruptor on the way, I could believe. But no, there's the GG, and NightMare securing himself as one of the strongest PvPs in the world. Genuinely, I think he's just so good at that matchup. Taking down SKillous.